My name is Brian Rose, and my job is to listen, the oldest method of learning known to man. Each week I seek out individuals that are changing the world, people who are living and thinking in a different way. Their stories will challenge your beliefs, make you question your choices, and perhaps inspire you to change. I never planned on doing any of this, but now I can't stop. Join me on this mission and make humanity something we can all be proud of. This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Enrique Saldana, recent graduate of our Business Accelerator. Welcome.
Thank you, Brian. Pleasure to be here.
Tell us about you. Where are you from? What do you do?
I am originally from Mexico and happily married with an Australian woman that took me to Australia for the last 12 years. And now at the moment we're living in Mexico for the next year to make sure that our daughter speaks Spanish. And what I do and what I learned how to do in the Business Accelerator was to bring out my passion in capoeira and movement to help people. I had an accident 8 years ago when my left femur went out of my knee and back in, and I lost my physical freedom for around a year. And it was one of very confronting experiences. And certainly the journey of recovering has certainly been a touching point that this business reflects, in which all the time that I've spent researching, learning, and trying how to return from injuries, now I can share it.
And what was going on like internally with you that made you seek out help with your business? I mean, you seek out the accelerator. You know, why now?
It was just the perfect timing. I actually signed up before, but just timing and just things didn't align, and I had to back out. But in this time, being in a different country, you just arrive with your message at the right timing, and I have a lot of projects in many different areas, but I think that working with something that is close to your heart was certainly powerful for me to explore, and it was, given the fact that I had the time to fully dive in, I just went, it's now, let's do it.
And what about your friends and family? Like, what did they think of you making this move?
They already, some of them don't know, some of them have learned through it, but they essentially acknowledge the fact, because I have helped not only myself, my students, friends, family, now for a while, they know that I have already managed to touch base with them in a very different ways in their own needs, with shoulders, with knees, with hips, and I managed to actually pass that knowledge and just help them. And it's awesome. It's something that has fulfilled me for a long time since I started my journey with Edo. But I just didn't know how to apply it, and I was really keen to be able to then work out how can I use what you have learned in all these years to try to help people in this way. I just didn't know how, and that was the main reason, being curious. How can we do this?
And why London Real?
I have already been following you for a while. You probably was the first touch base in my search to learn more about Edo Portal. And since then I have followed you, mainly because you have actually brought a lot of different people that I always learned something from those interviews. I have always something that I can run away with and try to apply it. And so the trust was already there. But also from the mentorship perspective, I have accelerated my life in many different ways, not by myself. I've had great mentors at work, great mentors on different property investing. I have had great mentors in capoeira. I have great mentors in movement. Why not have a mentor on something on how to craft something that I love and I'm passionate about.
Tell me about the first week. You sign up, you pull the trigger,
Yeah.
and you get dropped into this crazy, process. You got 150 people from around the world that are now your teammates. You've got me on live calls, an accountability doc. What's that first 2 weeks like?
A roller coaster. Couldn't describe it in any other way. I think that I have always, for a long time, I have already believed that I make decisions based on what I believe and analyze, and that I'm not a product of where I come from. I'm a product of who I have chosen to implement what they have done and all the good things that some people are doing. And you challenged me in this course, and one of them was to be able to talk about something that I'm really passionate about in front of everyone. I'm very private, and I like the one-on-one with my students, with my friends, and that's not how you work. So you literally just went, Enrique, can you talk about this in front of other people? Do you really have confidence on what you're talking about and what you believe and passionate about? And I just went, well, if I am, I should be able to do this. So shut up and go for it, push on.
And so that was a win for you to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
A big obstacle to really, I guess, confirm that, you can actually make decisions towards the goals that you want, regardless of what an environment could say or could not say. At the end of the day, if you're happy and you're passionate, that's where your heart and where your hands should be.
Yeah. Tell me about the community. What are these people like? All these people around the world, you never met them in your life. What is it like?
Fantastic. I think that is the different amount of people that comes from such a different array in walks of life, I think is amazing. I've learned so much from them. Some of the topics, obviously, you won't be able to be relate. In some other ones, you won't naturally up front. But the way that a lot of them will be passionate about and they will talk about it, you cannot help yourself to not be interested and then suddenly learn about so much of all the topics that you wouldn't think of. And it's fantastic to then suddenly access the brain of someone that has been so crazy about something. And I think that that's really, really special. So regardless of where you are or what you do, the wavelength is the same. And I think that tuning in, I think is a fantastic mechanism to just like jumping on a train, pretty much. Let's go, let's do it.
What was it like when I asked you to actually sell on your own webinar, in week 6, week 7? How was that experience for you, and what did you learn from it?
I think that was probably one of the biggest transformations that I certainly had. I think that a lot of the things that I have done in the past has always been on someone else's flag. And when you do that, you feel like you're selling. It's not you. It's your company. It's my group of school. It's my movement. It's someone else's flag that I'm kind of talking about. But then and that feels like selling. But then suddenly this is something that you're passionate about, and I guess that for the first time, I didn't feel like selling. I just pretty much, but it's not also the process of actually feeling sad. I was literally helping people, but also comfortable that my product will actually, in my business, helps people to get the trust and confidence in their own body. This could be through all the injuries. It could be through, things you had in your childhood that you don't actually can move well anymore, or you want to do something, but it's limiting people. So it's similar to my knee. So now, if I know that I have the tools to help you do that dancing and raising your arm to go back to something that you were wanting to do, I just don't feel like selling. I feel like I got something that I can actually share with you that will make a difference, that I've learned, I've used it myself, my students, my people around me, and I can make a difference. There's no selling anymore. Have you got something with your shoulders? Let me help you out. You don't? That's perfectly fine. But at least you know that I have something that I can share with you. I can really make a difference just by having a little conversation about it. And that's powerful. That's not selling, that's helping.
And what are your plans for the next 12 months? What do you want to do with this business? You know, I know you're one of our team leaders, and you know, what do you plan on doing?
Essentially, push as far as I can. Essentially, I have changed a lot. I'm learning a lot. Not only, essentially, my approach will evolve. The more cases I see, the more people I see. I expect that in a year I will have helped more than 100 people. Not only on shoulders, that is what's currently focusing on, or well, not focusing, but just applying all my knowledge towards that. But it's just a framework that can be applied to other parts of your body as well. So that's where all these new process that getting from my field of capoeira and movement, and get those tools out and that framework, and then apply it in conjunction with other people. And that is not only people that I'm going to be helping directly with their own issues, but it's also people that are in the field of physiotherapy. I'm actually expecting to touch base with Dr. John Kirsch to explore a bit more of his work on hanging, and he has a great book about it. And his book is a foundation of a lot of the things I do. So sharing and starting to work with some people to really expand, because I really don't know where the limit is. And I think that these 12 months is to really find where that limit is. And at this stage,
I can't wait to watch that. Tell me about you, Enrique. If we went out on the street right now and bumped into the guy that didn't take this course, how is he different than you?
Very different. I think that one of the things that I essentially have learned is that it's hard to be comfortable being uncomfortable. I've learned that all these from different people, including Ida. But essentially, this business course is beyond a business course, because I think that one of the best comments that I kind of got from you was, if you cannot stand in front of people and scream about this, no one else will. And that actually is pretty full on. That's kind of hard to really find a way that you can really get into something, love it so much that you're prepared to put your name down and stand by it. And that process, it's really hard to do it by yourself without being mentored, without being pushed, without being put time frames. And I think that someone on the street, they won't naturally will be searching for, that's a challenge, I'll take that. But I guess that once people understanding this, which is I guess part of one of the lessons out of this course, struggle, the line of struggle, that's where growth is. In the same way to my business, it's not about where the pain is, it's more about how you stress that, getting that discomfort that will actually get your joints back.
Yeah, it's an analogy right there.
It's exactly the same.
Last question for you. If someone's watching and they're on the edge, they're thinking about joining the Accelerator, but they're not sure, what do you tell them? What advice do you have?
I'll just say, make sure you've got the time and jump for it, because the 8 weeks will be intense, they will be full on, and you want to get the most of it. So once you have the timing and to be able to jump at it, I think that this will grow way beyond a business. It will grow to something that is potentially bigger than yourself. And the growth that people will experience goes beyond just, I have an online business. it just passes that kind of line. And I think that that's one of the reasons why I will say, align you everything that you need and just jump, because this is worth a lot as a person in your life. And once probably you do a couple of these kind of exercises, you have a bit of a taste, and then you realize, what other challenge can I take? And I think that that's the way to live life.
Very well said. Enrique, it's been amazing having you on this course in my team. You've inspired so many of Team Rose and a lot of other people as well. Your energy is incredible. So please help me lead these people for the next 12 months. Welcome to La Familia. And let's do some big things.
Let's do it.
For the future. Yeah? Cool. Thank you, sir. Muchas gracias.
De nada.
London Real doesn't stop when the conversation ends. You see, that's when we get started. Because everything begins with a thought, and then comes the action. The London Real Academy is our global transformation platform. Here we bring together thousands of students from over 75 countries. Whether you want to build a profitable business from your passion, or learn to speak to inspire, or broadcast yourself with your very own podcast, or accelerate your life to become a high-performance person, we have the online accountability course and personal mentoring program that will make your dream a reality. Join us, and we'll take your life to the next level, together. Our next Accelerator course is starting soon.